Hi, it's Whitney with No Drinking in the Library. It has been a little while since I've seen you all, but I wanted to say hi, and I've been reading lots of books and graphic novels and lots of fun things lately, and I wanted to do Dr. Sleep, which is a Stephen King novel from 2013. It's a little bit older, but it's on Audible right now as a free credit book, and it's a lot of fun. And I read it and enjoyed it thoroughly, and I don't like Stephen King, but we'll get to that in a second. So we are going to take a shot. So cheers. Whew. There's no drinking in the library. That's all you drink at home. No drinking in the library. Let me try to pull up the imagery for Dr. Sleep, because it's a lot of fun. Dr. Sleep. Has anyone read Dr. Sleep or watched the movie Dr. Sleep? It is also on HBO right now. It is fantastic. It's got Obi-Wan Kenobi in it. If you all are familiar with the Obster. I mean, sometimes you meet a movie actor and they're just made for that role. So Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining. I believe it was 1977, 7. I am drinking Mountain Meditator. Look at that beautiful little witch with her basil. It's a lemon and basil. It's delicious. And my shot was Kraken. I don't know if you guys remember, but it's been a while. But yeah, Kraken's my jam. So, how have you guys been? COVID's weird. The world's weird. It sucks. It's interesting. We are living in a different time. I wanted to talk to you guys about Dr. Sleep. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I actually don't really like Stephen King that much. Stephen King it's not like he's a brilliant author, and he's a brilliant mind, and he is one of the kings of horror. There's no argument with that whatsoever. It's just like, you know, sometimes like books aren't for us. So Stephen King's just kind of an author that's just been a little bit, he's a little bit drier, and he's very like system. I've got a system, and he kind of sticks with it. Boom, 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 boom. And so I just don't really tend to get into that a lot. But I love Ewan McGregor. And so I watched Dr. Sleep, and it was so good. And I love The Shining. The Shining is actually one of my favorite horror films of all time. And I know that him and Stephen King, like Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King, like, you know, like drama. But I really enjoy the movie. I really enjoyed that novel. And I listened to Dr. Sleep. So it's on Audible. And that's how I read the book. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was... So Rose the Hat is a very riveting character. You almost get to the point where you kind of yearn for the bad guys to win or to have a shot. Like you keep seeing them. They're this powerful, all-knowing not K-N-O-T, but the true not. You almost see them in a, like, you want to root for them. You want them to win. You want them to have a chance at everything. And there's a few times where, man, they get really close. But it just, in this novel, Stephen King finds a way to very perfectly line up the suspense. Like the story is chugging along and the suspense is happening, and you keep getting the payoff, but you get a little bit of payoff as you go the whole time. It's so much fun. I really enjoyed Dr. Sleep a lot. It was a very fast-paced book. There were lots of Easter eggs, and it kept talking about everything that kept happening throughout his life. So Danny Torrance grows up, and he's an adult who is an alcoholic, who has his own issues that are very similar to his father's. And the way that Stephen King kind of tells the story is that the people are kind of how it's all connected, how you keep seeing each other and how you keep being each other, and the history keeps repeating itself. And Stephen King kind of writes throughout his other histories and his other novels, everything's kind of like linked up together. But he talks many times about how history does kind of repeat itself, and that's part of you can expect certain things to happen, but how it's going to play out is a little bit different each time. And I kind of do respect that about Stephen King quite a bit. I wish that I could be a bigger Stephen King fangirl, because I think I would totally do it justice. And you guys know that. You know that essentially my videos are hype videos. So you should definitely watch Dr. Sleep or read Dr. Sleep or listen to it or however you want to consume it, but consume it because it's fantastic and I love it. And yeah, so good. How's everyone doing with like the weird COVID shit? It's kind of weird, right? Being out in the world now. I appreciate you checking in and watching this video, if you are watching it. It's fun. It's weird. It's talking about the book. Like, it's fun. It's weird. It hits, like, it's got a bunch of like Easter egg points and little bits and tittles that you want to know, you want to read, you want to know what happens to Danny Torrance, you want to know what that happens to that little kid. It's got tons of flashbacks. It's got lots of things where it goes back into time and reaches out, and you get to see that movie again. You get to see that flashback. I have a very vivid movie-brained mind when I'm reading a book, and so I keep seeing all these things. Like, everything starts and ends in that property where Overlook Hotel was in the Colorado mountains, and it's very poetic. This book goes back to that, and like it settles that score. And there's not a whole lot of chances in life where you get to kind of go back and settle scores, and it allows Danny Torrance the chance to close a chapter in his book that he didn't know he needed to close. Because once you survive a thing, you think you've closed that chapter. And you don't realize until much later when you're an adult that you only survived it, and surviving isn't quite enough anymore. You've got to do more. You've got to have a bigger moment of that. And it's kind of a hard book to read. It's kind of a hard movie to watch when you're an adult that needs to close some really scary chapter that happened to him as a child. But it's kind of fulfilling and nice. And that's part of being a bookworm, is having those moments where you get to chill the fuck out for a moment and heal and learn. And that's part of why I love books so much, is the fact that you do get that moment on a regular basis. You get that moment to kind of heal and do whatever you want, and you get to escape, and you can be in the earth that you want to be in, or you can create a whole new world if you want to. And Danny created this whole new world for a really long time by going into alcohol, and then he saved himself. And he saved himself by finding his, I don't want to spoil it, but by finding a very special person in his life, not romantic, but a very special person in his life to kind of remind him why he's here. And if you suffer from something, if you suffer from a mental illness, you suffer from a weird curse, you suffer from The Shining, that you can be a mentor to the next person. And as an alcoholic and going through AA, you are that, like when you're a sponsor, you are serving and you are sponsoring that person that's coming along. And so I think no matter what you do, no matter how it's connected, like when you go through something really hard, you want to be able to be there for the next people and make it easier on them. And so like somebody like me who has bipolar, it's nice to be able to do that for somebody. So I know this is kind of all over the place and not my normal like spiel, but I feel good about it and I like it. And Dr. Sleep was amazing, and booze is amazing, and COVID sucks, and I love you guys. And this is a little bit of a hot mess, but sometimes I have them. And I know you guys do too, so it's okay. So I'm looking, I've got a whole bunch of shit on my table that I was going to use as props and stuff, and like my sign and my booze and like this really cool skull thing and crystals and Magic the Gathering. I kind of want to play. You guys want to play? Play some cards. Anyway, love you guys. So much fun. There's no drinking in the library. That's why we drink at home. And all we can do now is drink at home. I hope that your guys' homes are nice. I hope that you're having a fun time. I hope you're being safe. I hope that you're respecting other people's lives and health, and I hope you guys are good. Love you all. Cheers.